Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again with another reaction for you guys. Today guys, of course, we're here to check out the second episode of She-Hulk. Don't forget the subtitle, Attorney at Law. This is Season 1, Episode 2, titled Superhuman Law. Now, of course, at the end of last week's episode, the premiere of She-Hulk Attorney at Law, Jennifer had to reveal herself in that courtroom to being a Hulk, essentially. She-Hulk. She had to reveal herself to protect the jury, everyone in that room, the judge, all that kind of stuff. And now there's no going back, because they made a very, blatant point during the origin, because of course the premiere had to be the origin, kind of setting it all up. They made it very clear that only her friend that she works with at her office and her family knows that she is a Hulk, but she has been saying several times, even though she did some training and the flashbacks with Bruce and everything and all that kind of stuff, she kept saying over and over, I'm not going to be a hero. That's not going to be my thing. Well, unfortunately, as Bruce kept telling her in different ways, that's not up to your choice. Like, sure, that's what you think you're going to be doing, but that's not what's going to end up happening. And of course, this happens because let's say she never got infected. She never became a Hulk, essentially, a She-Hulk. Then she probably would have died in that during that scene in the courtroom. So thankfully she was. Just things end up happening. Now I'm curious to see where things go. Obviously within the trailers we see where people start to recognize her now. She's just now walking around as She-Hulk. Everyone kind of knows. So I'm curious to see like what approach they take, because instead of it trying to be a very close net group in terms of only her family and her friend kind of, making little jokes like, oh, She-Hulk and stuff. But he's like, nope, I'm not going to do that. Now everybody's going to know. Everybody in that courtroom is going to talk to seeing that happen. And there's probably going to be, I wonder if there's going to be even questions about, is she going to be the same as the Hulk, right? And obviously she's not. But I'm curious to see how they're going to approach that. Overall, enjoyed the first episode, and I'm curious what they do here with episode 2. So I'm excited, guys. So let's get into now. Let's check it out. Season 1, episode 2, Superhuman Law. Let's go.
Sketches show a stunning scene from the Metropolitan
right away.
Today, where superpowered superhero appears responsible.
Did that actually happen?
A She-Hulk?
A She-Hulk? Can't get drunk.
That name better not stick.
It's gonna stick.
Dumb. I can't even.
Like, how did you get these powers?
I really don't feel like talking about it.
Nepotism. I knew it.
Oh, take a lap, Dennis. But you could be an Avenger.
Which she will end up being.
Offer healthcare,
Hmm?
maternity leave, a pension. Are they even?
Since you saved the lives of the entire jury today, GLK and H argued that the jury was then biased in your favor.
What am I supposed to do? Like,
I'm sorry, I have to let you go. This makes you a liability for the DA's office.
Oh.
wait.
Attorney for hire. It's switched.
We're not prepared to offer you the position at this time.
Sorry.
Damn.
It's a no.
Jen, what are you doing? Eye on the prize. Come on, seriously.
Sorry.
What did that say?
You got fired. Chad!
Chad.
You got fired.
it up. I said don't bring it up. What? Promoted to manager over at the Best Buy.
Manager.
Chad, employed and from Hawkeye guy. What
Hawkeye?
happens to those arrows of his? I mean, does he go around and
How would she know this?
everything's done?
Jenny.
Like, I get fired for saving people, and now I can't get another job
Yeah.
because of it.
You didn't tell
What
me.
are all those ears?
And you didn't destroy a city.
That's true. You didn't destroy a city. That's a
It
positive.
does feel like a weight is
I'd like to offer you a job.
Job.
Is this a joke?
Nope, not.
Don't ever joke.
Nope.
Mr. Walters, you late.
We just started a superhuman law division, and I want you,
That's
the She-Hulk, to be
the She-Hulk.
face of it.
This way, please.
We are the first top.
This sucks. I'm
Okay, that sucks.
qualified, but
Breaking
not
the fourth
everyone
wall.
around here is always gonna
Was
be
it comics on the wall right
reason I
there?
got the job. It's so unfair.
It's a nice office, it seems. Yeah.
I'll leave you to settle in. Hi there, I'm Paul. I'm also in the Superhuman
He's 10 steps
Law
ahead of
Division.
us.
Oh, I'm Jennifer Walters.
A map to the best bathroom for pooping.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prometheus.
So,
I can't wait to take on whatever case you want to assign to
your
me.
first case is the parole of Emil Blonsky.
This man tried to kill my cousin, Bruce.
Yeah, that's
It's quite alright.
Blonsky is well aware
What?
of your familial connection. If you don't take the case, then you don't have a job here.
Ultimatum.
At the very
Always
least,
ultimatums.
You should meet with a client.
That's crazy. It's different, right?
Enter the visitor safe area.
There he is.
Mr. Blonsky, I was expecting.
Abomination, right?
Yes. Don't step over the yellow line. What are you doing?
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay.
With 7 soulmates that I met through the prison pen pal program that I want to start a new life with. I was under direct orders from your government.
But then you went on a destructive rampage in Harlem.
Yeah.
I was sent on a mission to take out a threat. And I thought, oh, I was the good guy.
He thought, yeah. I mean, he's
I
not.
thought I was going to be.
He's not wrong.
Your cousin is held up as some kind of hero, and I'm locked up in here. Various haikus that I've written.
Oh boy.
To each of my victims here.
If I were your attorney, I would advise you to speak truthfully
Yeah,
from the heart.
not
instead of
haikus.
Trying to gauge what
Fuzzball.
Hey, Jen, what's up?
I couldn't do that without talking to you first.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
what
it doesn't seem like you hold a grudge. Maybe I want to believe that he's reformed.
Well, sure,
You
we
know,
all
isn't
wanna
rehabilitation
Well,
something
sure, we all
should
wanna-
strive for as a society?
That's what.
Actually, Blonsky wrote me a really nice letter a while back.
Was it haiku?
Heartfelt haiku. So
Of course it was.
That fight was so many years ago, I'm a completely different person now. Literally.
Are you okay with
Oh my god, they just. That was their way of.
Sounds
That was
like you're
good.
okay with it too. It's a big She-Hulk, attorney at law.
Oh, I mean, there are like
Roll credits.
some.
Oh.
Okay.
After shocking footage leaked showing the abomination participating in what appears to be an underground fight club after having somehow escaped.
Oh.
Oh.
Dude, I don't know what I'm doing now.
Just hold the car.
I turn to the left, I turn to the right. Look.
I'm glad you're staying hydrated, Dad, but this seems a little excessive.
Oh, yeah, I got that.
There you have it, guys. Episode 2 of She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Overall, pretty good stuff. I was correct. When I was watching the episode, she was on her computer. I'm like, what is that in the corner? And Twitter is a lifesaver. It really is. The article that I saw said, man fights with metal claws in bar brawl. Who could that reference? Clearly Cyclops. I'm kidding. Wolverine. But then there's something under I didn't see because I saw the top and I'm like, what? Why there is a giant statue of a man sticking out of the ocean? Eternals. They're referencing that fucking statue. Everyone's been asking, but it's in an article kind of hidden away. But I saw that top one. They fucking reference Wolverine in this. Holy crap. Okay. It's obviously it could be anything, but come on, metal claws in a bar brawl. That sounds like freaking Wolverine. Plus, the Wolverine video game that's being developed by Insomniac, they literally show the aftermath of Wolverine in a bar brawl, and he's about to get attacked by somebody else, and he just took out all these guys at a bar. It's kind of, you know, but it really fits Logan style, right? To be in a bar fight. It makes sense, right? Oh my gosh. Okay, so getting past that point, and then the Eternals reference of the Celestial breaking out of the Earth, and of course got stopped. I overall enjoyed the episode. I think that it was an interesting direction to, of course, because I was mentioning in the intro, okay, so what is the approach now? Because not everybody's going to know. Right away, they show all the news coverage. She gets fired after all these people are celebrating the fact that, you know, she is She-Hulk, and they came up with this name. Of course, that name's not going to stick. I'll figure out a better name. No, I mean, unfortunately, that is going to be your name. But then she gets fired because of the jury bias goes to her for her saving their lives, and then the whole trial and the whole case is just gone because of what occurred. But my thing is, I feel like it's an unfair move, even though she ultimately gets a better job. I'm basically a better paying job, essentially, to represent superheroes. Well, in this case, a supervillain that's kind of reformed and writing haikus and shit. But he made some good points about what occurred and what had happened in terms of the 2008 Incredible Hulk film, which we'll get to that in a minute. But the point I want to stick with just for a second is the fact that I feel they made a really bad decision, because literally she could have let those people die. She could have easily hit herself and not done anything, yet she did the right thing and saved lives. But I guess since the case is important, we got to let you go. But is it really that important over lives? But he's like, yeah, you did the right thing, but the case is gone, so it's a mistrial, and we got to let you go. It's bullshit. I think it's some bullshit. But she gets a better job, apparently. A better job overall for money, because, I mean, her friend made a point. You have like a really nice office. You're getting paid more so you can afford a second wardrobe, because she didn't really ask for more details when she was just offered a job in the bar after she was turned down by a lot of other people, showing a little montage in her searching up jobs and stuff. They consider her a liability, but then they hired her for a special, superhero type division or whatever to help protect superhuman people. Aliens, I guess. I have no idea. Because there probably is aliens on planet. So I'm guessing it would be representing superheroes and, I guess, non-human people, or non-human entities. I don't know, what the scope is, but we'll see what happens there. But so she was unaware that she had to actually be She-Hulk at work. No idea. And then who walks in her office? Prometheus from Arrow. He just walks on in. And he gives them a little basket, and then there's a little diagram, a little map to get to the best bathroom to take a poop. It's important. It's important to know that, especially in a workplace. But it was interesting to see him, at least for a little bit in this episode, to see the guy who's 10 steps ahead of all of us. He already knows the ending of She-Hulk, season 1, 2, and 3. He's that far ahead. He's 10 steps ahead. If you know the show Arrow, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so we get to the whole, I guess the big point of the episode, and even a little bit of a wink, wink, nod, nod, if you will, during Bruce's conversation, to where we go to the actual prison, and there's Neil Blonsky, is that his name? Anyways, or is that a director name? Anyways, Abomination. So I'm trying to get to, it's fucking 5:45 in the morning. I'm tired. And he's a completely different person. Now, there's been a lot of talk online about they ruined Abomination. They actually make some pretty solid points about what happened to this version of Abomination in terms of what was happening. Because he was hired by the government to take on the Hulk, who was deemed a threat at the time. They pumped him full of super soldier serum and some other shit. They pumped him with a lot of stuff, and it warped his mind. Well, at the time, he was a part of the, United States military. I think he was just in a different place in his life, and then that stuff was just compounding on top, and it turned him into the Abomination. A lot of stuff was going on, and he made some valid points, but he thought he was going to be the hero, and now the Hulk is seen as the hero when literally he was deemed a threat. Now, obviously, at the time when the Incredible Hulk film was out, and that story was taking place in the MCU, there wasn't superheroes per se. We had Iron Man, and that was it. We had Cap, of course, back in the 40s, but the idea of a superhero today was not even a thing back then compared to what it is now. So yeah, they deemed Hulk the threat because Hulk was destroying shit. Whenever Bruce turned into the Hulk, he was destroying shit, or he was just, people were so afraid, and anything, you know what I'm saying? So the idea of this version of Abomination being seen as a villain, it makes sense because he was pumped in with all this stuff, super soldier serum, and his mind was all over the place. He was just gone. You could tell when you're watching the movie. You see where he's a completely different person, and he makes some valid points to why. So she's going to represent him, and then, of course, they bring up Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. They show the footage. Someone had recorded phone footage of Wong fighting Abomination. So that's interesting. So I think that's why Wong is in the series, because we've seen him in the trailers. That makes sense now, because I think they're going to find out who the other person is in that fighting thing, and why was he, I'm guessing that Wong went in and secretly took Abomination out. How does Wong even know Abomination? That's the question. I have no idea. But I wasn't even thinking about that until they showed that footage on the news. That, oh, by the way, how is Jennifer Walters? That's the She-Hulk. How is Abomination's attorney going to respond to this? There's been no response yet by Abomination's attorneys over this, and then showed the footage. I'm like, oh yeah, that. I forgot about it because I was just trying to understand what was happening in that sequence between him and her, because, he was explaining himself and writing haikus and stuff, but 7 soulmates, I don't know what the hell's going on, but this guy seems like he's not really a threat anymore. I don't know. Maybe it's all a trick. Maybe it's all bullshit. And it could be. It may be all bullshit. He may be lying. I don't know. But it was cool that we got to see the character again. And he made some valid points. If he's actually being believable or not, we'll see. Now, getting to the conversation with Hulk, who's going back to Sakaar. It's he's going back to Sakaar. So they make a little joke, and she even breaks the fourth wall, and continues on the conversation, where literally he says, that fight was so long ago, I'm a completely different person, literally, and then continuing on the conversation. Because literally, he is his version. It's his version of the character that Mark Ruffalo is playing, but he didn't fight Abomination because he wasn't, of course, Hulk. It was Edward Norton. So that was funny. That was brought up. Of course, there's always been, like, especially during Multiverse of Madness before it came out, like, oh, they're gonna bring. There's always rumors of different characters popping up, and one of them was Edward Norton's Hulk was gonna show up. Like, how? Because it's the same version of, unless you're going to imply that on another Earth in the multiverse, Edward Norton is Bruce Banner, which I don't think Edward Norton's ever going to work with Marvel again anyways, but regardless. But I like how they make that point, because her talking to him about the Abomination, it makes sense character-wise, because Mark Ruffalo didn't play a different version of Bruce Banner. He played the same version as Edward Norton's Hulk in 2008, because it's, of course, in the MCU, but it wasn't really him. So they make that joke, they make that little point there. I thought that was interesting to kind of just address that, because she makes a point when she's offered this case to, represent him to help get him released, potentially, a conflict of interest. Yeah, kinda, technically, yeah, but not me. Yeah, it's weird, because for the longest time they didn't address the Incredible Hulk film. They didn't address it until really 2015's Age of Ultron. It took them that long. It wasn't Age of Ultron. No, it was Civil War. Excuse me. It was Civil War, because it was the Avenger of Age of Ultron that led into Civil War. Yeah. So, and rest in peace to William Hurt. I believe that was his name, who played General Ross. He was great. It's unfortunate that they didn't use him more after Incredible Hulk, but I think with the whole Edward Norton thing, and they were going just getting a new actor, of course, Mark Ruffalo. So I don't know, but overall enjoyed the episode. I did, and I'm curious to see where they go now. I mean, I think with her taking on Abomination as a client, it's definitely going to be really interesting to see how that they go approaching that. And I'm assuming that Wong's being in episode 3. That's my assumption, because with the footage and everything, and now with her client being shown like doing some sort of fighting or whatever, like MMA kind of in a sense. Just fighting in a ring or whatever. I'm wondering if they're going to show any of the. I'm assuming nothing else that was in that during that brawl or during those like tournament, I guess, if you will, or whatever, that fighting thing is going to be shown. Just the Abomination stuff. That's my guess, because I even was talking to Andy yesterday, of course, my co-host on Endless Multiverse, about where does Shang-Chi pop up next, because the director is directing the Kang Dynasty, Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. And I was like, well, Shang-Chi could pop up pretty much anywhere. Shang-Chi knows Wong. I mean, I don't think Shang-Chi's going to show up here, but I mean, thinking that's possible. Who knows, right? Because they did say with this show, anybody could pop up. Anybody, really, because she's a lawyer now for superheroes, so it makes sense. So, yeah. So anyways, overall, I enjoyed the episode. Like I said, guys, I'm curious to know what you guys thought about this episode. What were some of your highlights? What are the things you liked about the episode? What I thought, Jeff, guys, let me know in the comments below. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out.